They're things that journalists, the next question is, when will the election be?
I know, that's not my next question.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, he's not in a great mood lately. He's struggling in the polls. An election coming up. Interest rates aren't going down. He was interviewed on the ABC today and would have thought it would be a softball interview. And to be honest, it was pretty soft, but he was not happy. Have a listen to what happened.
At what age did you lose your virginity?
The truth is that
I was 46 years old.
He's an absolute wanker.
Warning, I will not answer the question because that's my style. I hope you notice that.
Are you saying negative gearing and capital gains tax concessions are absolutely off the table for you?
Well, they're tax policies.
Yeah, but are those tax policies,
housing policies,
are those tax policies completely off the table for you?
Well, Patricia, I don't answer the sort of those sort of questions in the way that
you mean good ones.
Yeah,
that's a good question. Are you going to say no to those or not?
Clever. They're things that journalists. The next question is, when will the election be?
I know, that's not my next question.
Yeah, well, they're not terribly clever questions.
That was an embarrassing performance.
Why can't he just answer the question?
What does this bloke have to do to lose his job?
Finally, a relevant question.
I just love Patricia Cavallis doing a running commentary on her own interview.
I thought that was actually a good comeback. Yeah. What, good ones?
I asked a good question. Full credit to myself. Yeah. And I'll tell you my next question. So, but Anthony Albanese, as I said, he would have gone on ABC expecting to be given a fairly,
softball,
soft ride, easy questions.
Yes.
And it wasn't that difficult. Just rule in or out these particular tax options.
It was a yes or no question. Are these absolutely off the table for you?
So
I'm just going to get snappy instead.
Is this a sign that Anthony Albanese is feeling the pressure and he's sensing that he's in trouble?
Yes, and rightly so.
Well, we've seen this snappiness from him before, and look, no leader is immune to the pressures of the job. I mean, if we're going to start pulling out prime ministers who have lost it a bit and been less graceful than they should in the moment, then we'd be here all night. But clearly he was having a morning of it. I don't know why he chose to answer in that way, because it actually, my understanding, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, that was a relatively easy question for him. He could say, yes, they're absolutely off the table.
I don't think you need to do that. I think it's probably just early in the morning, it's breakfast radio, probably, still just, waiting for the coffee to kick in.
Was he surprised that he was getting some tough questions on the ABC and that's why he reacted? Because
I don't know. That's not something that's reintroducing negative gearing. Maybe does have a secret plan. Certainly not something that is on my radar, or I would have thought was on sort of anybody's radar. I mean, Albo, it was widely understood within the Labor Party, and an entire review and new platform was written on the back of the 2019 loss over negative gearing that said, we cannot do this, we cannot touch this stuff, it's just a terrible, terrible look for us.
Hence it was actually an easy question.
So it was strange that, I suppose it was strange that it didn't just say no, but I suspect that it was just something that wasn't on his radar, that he was sort of blindsided that it was there and just sort of thought, oh God, I'm just going to try to shut this down and move on because
I control the narrative. I'm the captain now. I'm the king of the world.
Of course, the ridiculous thing is, had he just played a straight bat to that question, no one would be talking about this interview and most of the country wouldn't have even known about it. But because he reacted the way he did, it's front page news.
That's right. And again, it would have only been known by the listeners of Radio National, which is a very
small number of people.
Proportion of the Australian electorate. Yeah, that's right. I think it was probably just him not expecting the question and trying to sort of flub his way out of it. And or perhaps even, if you ask a question like that, you think, oh God, what have I said before? What is our actual formal position? Have we 100% ruled it, blah, blah. And he would have just thought, it's probably just safer at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 or wherever it was they were doing the interview to just try to close it down and move on. But
I'm just going to get snappy instead.
Is this a sign that Anthony Albanese is feeling the pressure and he's sensing that he's in trouble?
What should happen is an election and give the Australian people an opportunity to put this mob out of their misery.